This is Shadows Pub, and welcome to Pimp Your Post Thursday morning edition from the Ramble. And it would help if I actually changed the date. I may have to start again. This is going to be one of those days. Okay, we'll do the intro the second time. Good morning and welcome to Pimp Your Post Thursday morning edition from the Ramble. And we've got some people here today that are ready to go. We've got some posts that they want to share. And we're going to start with Axeman. And Axeman presents by text. So we'll just get his post open here and I'll take a look at his text. Latest travel feed post covering the first morning of my trip to Cyprus last September. Just a visual story for a quick walk around first morning while waiting for a hotel room. As usual. You weren't able to get the hotel room in advance, you had to wait around for it. And he's typing a response. Oh, as usual, I mean the text. True enough. So, are those sunset or sunrise? Those are sunrise photos? Ah, you arrived very early, so you had to wait. I assume that second one is taken from the plane. You take some stunning photos, Axeman. Really good ones. Nice work. Changing to new Steam with bigger posts. Is that a feature of new Steam? Longer posts? Yeah. The days of one post with one picture. Yeah. Whales need to kind of strike a balance between longer posts and quality posts. Well, 250 words is not a very long post, so that's actually a pretty reasonable minimum. Ange thinks that he gets more when he uses less words. I tend to work on the basis that if I've got a point in what I'm writing, then it doesn't really matter whether I use 250 words or 500 words. In fact, if I can make that point properly within 250 words, I'm smarter to use 250 than I am to use 500. I really get tired of seeing long-winded posts to say one little detail. It's always a good move. There's one of the when you look at the Strunk style manual, it will actually say less is more. But you actually need to make a point. Oh, there's Bluefin. Yeah, I think we get too carried away on length sometimes. Substantial brevity, that's a good term. Thank you, Axeman. Ohio, and I hope I'm saying that right. You're up. Something happening in the news? Thank you, Blue. Elements of style.
Do I have to hold on to the push to talk thing while
Y-
I'm talking, or
Yes.
okay, all right. Let me just I did a silly thing here and made it more than one key. So let me just move my fingers around. Okay. And I guess by the way, you pronounce it just fine. It actually, it doesn't mean anything. I was just trying to figure out an actual username when I signed up for Steemus. I was like, well, this seems fine. But my name is Christina. So yeah, and this is my username on Steam. This is, I know Wes, Philbin she promoted something for me last week. There was like a side project I wanted to try with, curating photos, but, I'm here this week and, here's the post that I'm going to, um, I have to remove my fingers, so I'm going to go blank for a second because
That's okay.
yeah, but,
That's
here's
okay.
the post.
And welcome.
Oops. Okay, so the post here is basically just it's an overview of, just some tips for visiting the New York Botanical Garden. I do happen to live in New York. I'm not that close to the city. I'm about, I want to say 70 to 90 miles away from Manhattan, depending on which route you take. But I generally post a lot of travel related stuff, photography. And then I've also started posting personal development and work at home, sort of solopreneur types of posts. And this is just my latest, about the New York Botanical Garden. And yeah, sorry, I'm super awkward. And just not that this matters, but it's Christina with a K, um, just for anyone there. And that's it.
So I take it that you're a solopreneur?
I mean, kind of not. I actually do have a full-time day job. I work for a social media software company. Actually, I work from home, and just like a lot of folks, I feel like who are in the social media marketing or content marketing space, I've had a few side hustles in my lifetime during over the course of my career. So I do, and also that is a big chunk of our target demographic. Actually, it comprises a lot of solopreneurs and also micro businesses, as I like to call them, which are businesses that have fewer than 5 employees. So I'm very, very familiar with that space in general, at least where it relates to marketing side. Operations wise, it's a you get to know a lot of the operational stuff just because of who we work with and my own personal experience, but it's not that's not my forte.
So how long have you been in that field?
So I've actually been in like social media, just the world for at this point, honestly, over 10 years at this point, basically since I wrote about this actually on my personal blog, but I didn't carry it over to Steam because it was like a heavily WordPress related thing. I've been in the social media space just sort of on and off, not necessarily professionally, just honing my skills for at this point over a decade. I've worked with this particular company. I've been with the company for over 6 years. And again, it's social media marketing stuff. So the other side of social media that mostly pertains to businesses and entrepreneurs more than it does like the end user, or as I like to call them, the products of social media, which are the um, general users.
So Jack is suggesting that you might want to use SteamPress, which will send your posts from your WordPress blog over to your Steam blog.
So I looked at that, and I don't actually want to do it because there aren't quite as many customization options as I'd like. For example, I would love to be able to send only a specific category. So I don't know if I was looking at the settings incorrectly, but the only thing I saw was an option to exclude a category from getting sent over. Also, just because of the nature of my post, I don't want everything from. Um, I don't really want to create a separate Steam category and exclude literally everything from there, and just it's not a fit basically. But I did look into that, so thank you, Jack.
So if you wanted to send one category over and they've got the options to eliminate category, why don't you just eliminate all the ones but what you want to send?
It's because of the way that my site is set up. It's actually a little bit too complicated for me, and it's just as easy for me to just basically um, syndicate it manually and then add whatever changes I need to add myself. Also, I don't this is maybe this is just like a personal preference, but I actually don't like sending over all of the images from my blog over, and also the what is this, the my understanding is that the formatting won't necessarily carry over. So I'm a bit of a stickler when it comes to that, which is why I've decided not to use SteamPress for the time being.
Yeah, the formatting sometimes will change a bit. Uh, when I've used it, what I've done is if there's a specific formatting that I want and I'm able to do that on Steam, I come and edit the post after it's come over.
Mm-hmm.
But it might be interesting to have a chat with Frederica and Howell, who created SteamPress, and express your ideas. They might be able to accommodate.
I actually also have one more reason for not using it. Um, I use the travel feed DAP for almost all of my. I've used it for almost all of the travel or destination related posts that I've published. And they, if you are curated by them, you get better rewards if you use their front end. So for that, and because I don't mind doing the manual syndication, so that I can add specific stuff like camera information for all those things that I would not add to my personal blog. I can get that. I can add that information to the end there as like a Steam specific footer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
SteamPress isn't a universal, everybody needs to use this sort of thing. It's there. It's a tool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely keeping an eye on it because I'm a heavy WordPress user. So definitely keeping an eye on it. And if they make any changes that make it more, I guess, useful for me specifically, then I'll definitely look at it again.
So Artemis and I interviewed a guy on Tuesday that runs a project on Steam called Engrave.
I saw that as well. Yes.
That's an interesting project. It's got some interesting possibilities.
I like I checked out the front end just actually earlier today. I was looking at it because I saw that somebody had I clicked through somebody's personal link and I saw that they were using an Engrave blog, which I know was also mentioned in Steam in the terminal over the past few days. I think that that could definitely help with mass adoption, which is something that I'm newer to Steam, but I know that that's something that I've heard thrown around quite a lot in the past couple of months that I've been with this platform, with this community, is just the idea of mass adoption, and I think that that approach to it could
Yeah, that was something that we were
I
kind
will.
of we were talking about that during the interview. Right now, it's only got 3 themes available, but
Mhm.
he is working on putting together a package where somebody that's capable of developing themes could take the package and build the theme on top of it so that he can expand on the themes. So
That's
interesting
definitely.
possibilities coming.
For sure. Yeah, I definitely think that's interesting. It's just sometimes when I step away from what I personally do know about WordPress and the limited amount of knowledge I've accrued over the years about like web development and just content marketing in general, I forget how many people are new to blogging. So if something like Engrave is able to get these people before they are like, oh, I should set something up at WordPress.com or Blogger.com, then then more power to them. They don't have to set up some. They don't have to learn WordPress and go through tutorials and all those things just to get up and running. Maybe that's the next step for new Steam.
Yeah, it was kind of part of his idea was that people could just come directly here instead of having to come through a third party. So it opens up another tool. So Bluefin has asked, is it Christina K or K Christina? I think that was for you.
Sorry, I accidentally unmuted muted myself again. It's Christina with a K, so Kristina.
So we've given you the PYPT attendee role, because this is your first time presenting, and well done,
Nice,
by the
thank you.
way. It also opens up a channel down below that you should be able to see. It's PYPT attendee, and you can drop your posts in there, and hopefully you take a look at the posts that are in there and give them some support.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, good job.
Oh, and don't forget to view and comment on other posts.
Yes,
Absolutely will do.
we do have some new people here, so I should explain. This is the home of a token called Shade, and you earn Shade by sharing and engaging. So when you present your post, you will earn 2 Shade for presenting it. You go and comment on other people's posts, and it doesn't have to be today. There is a list that is being created as we go through the show of the links, and over the next several days you can go and take a look at those posts and comment on them. When you leave a comment, use PYPT so that I can then pick up the fact that you've left a comment, and you earn another Shade for doing that. So I keep track of the Shade that you've earned over the course of the month, and at the end of the month, if you've done enough work, you could end up earning some more Shade and some Steam basic income. Which I also will remind people, the giveaway is running in the giveaway channel, and there'll be draws for both for Shade and Steam basic income. Can we use the Steam username in the Steam Press? It's been a while since I looked at Steam Press, Nightmare. I believe you can. Because you've got to log in with your account in order for it to send it over to Steam.
Right. I'm pretty sure it definitely, because you have to log in via your Steam account in order for it to work.
All right, Owasco, you are up. Whoops.
Hello. Oh, you're still talking?
Ohio just asked a question. To clarify, do I add a comment or just include PYPT within the text? Just put PYPT within the text. Some people work it right into the sentence. There you go. Bluefin's already left you a comment. Okay. Go ahead. Drop your link.
Hi. So you can hear me?
Yep.
Oh, good. Hi. My name is Stacy. This is my first successful chat. I'm very excited about it. I've been on Steam for about a year. I'm retired from the restaurant business. I started on Steam posting my poetry and got absolutely nowhere. So then I joined Free Write House and started writing free writes for them. It was the first time in my life I ever wrote fiction. I thought that it was something I absolutely could not do, and I proved myself wrong. I became very excited about writing fiction, and recently I tried my hand with this point for the first time, writing some magical realism. It's my favorite genre of literature. I just can't get enough of it. But I was never successful writing it until this post. The interesting thing about it was I'd spent hours on it. I had trouble at first. And it wasn't until I introduced an evil element that I could write some magic. So I'm really proud of this one. It's very short, but I like it.
Isn't it neat when you find out that you've got creative capabilities you didn't know you had?
I will never again say I can't do something if I haven't tried.
Very cool. So, are you going to write the Great American Novel?
I don't have time for that.
Okay. Just wondered. Good for you, though. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Well done. And as with Ohio, we've added the PYPT attendee role for you. And the channel down below is there for you to use as well and support others that post.
I have a question about that.
Okay.
Do I have to drop this post that I just gave here in that again? Or can I put anything there?
Yep. You can put any of your posts in there. It is
I'm
not
only gonna put the ones I'm especially proud.
That's okay. You're not required to put them all in.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Jack says he's not going to try yoga. Bluefin is a big fan of watching yoga. All right. Well done. Anj, you're up. There he is.
Good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so a few weeks ago, because I've always heard about the book Richest Man in Babylon, so a few weeks ago I decided to just go and YouTube it, and then I watched a few summaries. And then in one of the summaries, the guy was like, yeah, the whole point is like, you work hard until your money basically has its own baby money, and then one day you get to enjoy it. You can still enjoy it in the meantime, but mostly in the future. So that phrase, money that has baby money, just kept coming up in my head. So I decided to make a poem about it. That's what I know.
Okay. So you read The Richest Man in Babylon. That was written by who?
No, I watched the summaries on YouTube.
You watched the summaries on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've looked at that one. I was trying to remember the author. It was a very popular book at one time. Whoop, you've gone a little robotic on us. It's probably your connection. Thank you, Anj.
Yeah, it's been nothing up for the last day.
PH, you're up. I read this post this morning. Lately, I've seen a lot of people with low SP downvoting other posts, so I suppose that they do not understand the difference between downvotes on Steam and dislike on Facebook or thumbs down on YouTube. So I've tried to explain how to use downvotes properly and not ruin someone's motivation for writing, giving them to users without a good reason. It looks that it was a good discussion starter, so a lot of people found that as an interesting topic. Oh, good stuff. I looked at it this morning and I hadn't noticed too many comments on it. Yeah, there's definitely some there. Most of those low SP downvotes trace back to somebody called Camille Steamer. And they're basically, it's like having a bunch of mosquitoes flying around your head. Yeah, if you go in and look at the wallets on those low SP, they're usually 10%. And you'll find that that account is sending small amounts over to Camille Steamer. I don't miss Camille Steamer at all. Camille or one of their minions shows up in my feed or in my posts at least once a week. It does, Bluefin. It looks exactly like that, and I've noticed most of them that I've checked have all started with a within the last 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, most of them are somewhere over the summer.
Yeah.
And yes, define. They definitely look like they still have their delegations from Steemit.
I understand that Steemit has been trying to remove them, but it's probably what's happening is they're getting made so fast they can't keep up to them.
it would be nice to make it so that the account can't take any money or earn it or send it out until the delegation is paid back.
That'd actually be a good thing. It's not, I don't think it's the delegation itself that they're setting over. I've noticed that if you scan down through the wallet transactions, there's a transaction goes out to something to do with contests. So I think what it does is enters a contest or two, earns on that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is until that 15 SP delegation is paid back to Steemit, essentially you can't do anything with your own.
That would be good.
Right.
They vote Arcane as a witness. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's actually absolutely true. I found that the last couple of times I was in SteamWorld, which is a few times this week.
Interesting. I wonder what the connection is.
Well, and then I started thinking, okay, is that alphabetically one of the first that comes up, or what?
Well, it's possible. Downvote amounts are governed by curves, but not usually at that level because the downvote has no value. They claim to be from anonymous. I'll bet they are. All right. It's good. It was good to post though, PH, for the simple fact that there are a lot of people that are getting those small downvotes and they are getting upset about it. So you're not necessarily going to get to the people that are doing those nuisance votes, but it would be good if the people getting them start to understand that they're not hurting them. They are just a nuisance.
Effectively not hurting.
That's why I consider them to be like mosquitoes. They are disheartening to see, but you know something? We have to get used to seeing them because that, it's not, downvotes aren't new. They've been baked into the process right from the beginning. It's just they're being used more. All right. Thank you, PH. Good to see you presenting. I know that you do a lot of writing, so it's always good to see you share one or two. And define the dollar, you're up. Well, I think that has more to do with the fact that there's people out there cheerleading that everybody needs to be downvoting, which I consider to be a bunch of BS, to put it kindly. Okay, Define. Tell us about this.
All right, guys. Hey, how you doing? I'm back again to promote Solaritas, a project to build a solar wind farm here in the United States. I guess I didn't really give too many details last time about kind of what the plan is. I'm budgeting the first 10,000 sol to be directly powered up. So it'll be a 10,000 SP upvote even before the project begins and everything else to try to reward and pay back early investors. Then I'm going to power up everything until we have enough money to buy commercial land, then properly power it down, convert it to fiat and buy the land, then repeat the process to get the production materials. And then from then on, it's all curation rewards, and every month you get a payment from the electric company. I'm going to buy steam and power that up. So the upvote will just continue to grow, and you'll receive upvotes as long as you hold the token.
So are you making any forward movement? I would imagine it'd be slow at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty slow. It was awesome that the kitty girl, she bought like 30 this week. So that was amazing. And what I've been trying to do is go around and shows like this and talk about it. People seem to think it's a cool idea. I'm just waiting for people to put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Oh, speaking of which, define the dollar. I guess you're here. Nealon, are you here? Yeah, I see him typing. Both of you have one shade.
Oh, again? I won again?
You won again.
Sweet.
And just so that everybody knows, there's 10 minutes to go on the Steam Basic Income one. Bluefin says it's fixed. Speaking of which, Bluefin, you're up.
Oh, I know why I didn't win. I didn't win because Zippy isn't here.
That'll do it.
When she comes. That's what I paid for. That's nice one.
Might as well admit it.
Yeah, own it. That's a well done. Recently I was in my alma mater in upstate New York, sunny Ithaca, and took a tour of the campus again, and also wandered around backstage, as the lyrics say, and ran into things that I've seen for my entire life. And I wrote a little post about it.
So I take it those are current pictures you took?
Yeah, these are from about 10 days ago, something like that. There's some big changes since I was there. Some new names in terms of the theater spaces have been named. Some of the backstage spaces have been swapped, the prop shop and the scene shop, and old drape storages and electric rooms and whatnot. Little things, but it's still basically the same raw spaces. And it's always cool to go back to where you came from. I'm actually there fairly often because my daughter goes to school there. She's not in the theater department. She's in communications over in TV radio, but still get up there fairly often. Very, very long time.
I was just wondering whether I would ask him if his daughter kind of suggests that maybe you went there before Hydro was the thing.
Right? Yeah.
Typical
everything
child.
was in black and white when I went there.
There you go.
I mean, there was no such thing as color when you walked around town. It was all just black and white. All of the diners and the trees were in black and white. Everything was. That's what my daughter says all the time.
Speaking of which, I watched Pleasantville.
Cool movie, isn't it?
It is. It was pretty cool. So that's your fault.
Yeah. But it's a really cool concept.
It is. It was kind of neat watching the as it evolved and the changes that had to go on.
Right. And it's a pretty neat trick with the colorization and the digital artwork there to start.
It is. I would imagine that takes some interesting effects.
I will say this. Back then, it took some interesting effects. These days, we are not far from, if not this election, within the next 2 years, what they call deepfake video, which is essentially you can go and shoot video with 4 people you've never seen and then digitally replace other faces. I could replace it with Obama and Trump and Hillary and Trudeau, and you would be very hard pressed to tell the difference. Deepfake video is not far off.
So
we're that good with AI and digital scoping.
So last week, we found out, of course, we're at an election campaign here, and we found out the leader of the Conservatives, Andrew Scheer, has a American citizenship. Yesterday, we found out that one of the people that's running his campaign also worked for Trump during his campaign. So this morning I see a picture up on Facebook, and there's a picture of Trump with a kid on his lap that's got Scheer's face on it.
Yeah,
Had to love it.
yeah.
And the good news is that it's unlikely that Scheer's going to get elected, so we're good.
By the way, the Finnish president was not really the Finnish president. That's a fake.
I know. You did notice that I said
Okay.
I like cool dude.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, no president in his right mind would make a video like that.
I wouldn't put it past a few of the countries now because it's become that absurd.
True. All right. Chinny. You too, PH. Chinny, you're up.
Can you hear me?
How are you this morning?
I'm fine. Thank you. Okay, can you hear me?
Okay, tell us about your post here.
It's a poem. I wrote it late at night. It's basically a ramble of questions about death and the pain and everything that comes with it. Someone close to me recently passed away, so the questions have been in my
Okay,
mind.
Chinny, your background noise is so loud it's drowning you out.
Sorry, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, it's really loud. I couldn't make out anything you were saying.
Okay, I was saying that it's a poem I wrote late at night. It's basically questions about death and the pains that comes with it when someone close to you died. Someone very close to me recently passed away. So the questions have been in my mind for a while now. So I was restless last night, so I decided to write them down in form of poetry. So that's basically what the post is about.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And good to see you. It's been a while. You must have been busy, have you?
Yeah, I've been busy. I've got a lot going on lately, so
That's good. Good to see you back.
thanks.
In Freedom to Write, you are up, also known as Stacy D.
Hey guys, how are you? Are you Shadows, everyone?
Do you like Bluefin's post so much you did it again?
Ah, crap. No, shoot, hold on. I was curating that. Oops.
I think it's a great post. Thank you for presenting that.
You're welcome.
That was cute.
Just when you think you can trust your copy and paste, don't trust your copy and paste.
I know.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so I just made a garlic breadstick recipe, and it's my favorite recipe ever. It's really easy. There's no rise time. It takes 7 minutes to bake. They're amazing. So I made a video, and I made this video like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. And oh gosh, yeah. And I used like a new video editor, and it took me like 2 weeks to edit it. Off and on, it was challenging. I really had to learn a lot. So anyway, so I put it up there. So hopefully all the edits went okay, and it ended up being like the longest video I've ever made. So be kind.
You can't go wrong with garlic.
I don't think so either. I think the more the merrier.
Unless you use too little, then you could go wrong.
Yes. Putting garlic in and not tasting it, that's the worst.
As I say in my house, the way we decide what we're going to cook for dinner is we put olive oil in a pan, put garlic in the pan, and then discuss what's for dinner.
That's yeah. That's exactly it. That
Or
yeah.
breakfast. It could be cereal, but that's how we start every meal.
That's awesome. Yeah, like, yeah, well, let's just have this going, just make the house smell good.
I didn't look yet. Is it a... nope, it's not a gluten-free recipe. Okay.
No, but I've made them gluten-free before, and I just substituted out the flour.
Yeah.
But they are vegan, if anybody out here is vegan. So that works.
All right. Apparently, Yeti's enjoying it. He want to just lap it up there by the looks of that cover.
Oh, I freaking love her breadsticks.
And who wouldn't? Oh my, Blue.
We call them prey where I'm from.
Aha. And thank you for Freedom. Anj, you're up. So, for the benefit of our newer people, Zippy hasn't stopped in as yet. She probably isn't up yet. For the benefit of our newer people, you can share more than one post. In fact, we encourage it. And it doesn't have to be your post. You can share somebody else's. Okay, Anj, tell us about this.
Okay, so I'm sure everybody has seen many people like bragging about how the Monster collection is gaining in value. On Sunday, I checked my collection and then it had gained $200 in the last 3 months. So like, yeah, that's what this post is about, and also my seasonal rewards, and yeah, I think that's about it.
So, the photo you took, is that your celebration dinner because it gained $200?
No, like, actually, that was just because I had the part in mind and then it went together. So, but like, yeah, last weekend I was out, but that was before it. But we can say it is.
So, do you
But it
play
was mostly for a pan.
Do you play the game or do you speculate on the cards?
Oh, I play. I actually haven't like sold any cards, but I've burned some. But I play. Although at one point I think like sell my collection like at these prices, like it's actually like tempting. Like if I sold everything, I'll get like 1,000 and almost 200 Steam. So I think, wait, was it like that? I don't remember, but like it's kind of tip.
All right. Thank you, Anj. Did James drop an icon? Did I miss it?
Oh, yeah, you must have missed it. I think he was before me.
Oh, I'm sorry, James. You go now.
No worries. Okay. I'm. It doesn't matter. I can go. As long as I'm here by myself.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to share this post. I'm going to do two today. And I'm this. Let me get on this one first, and then I'll set the other one up
Okay.
because the other one's a little different. Britt came up with this idea because I was going through the hey, have you met? I was going through the introductions to introduce yourselves, and I was coming across some people who were writing unbelievable material, and they're not pro writers. These you can tell they're not people that do this all the time. And so I was kind of fascinated, and we would talk about it a little bit. And she came up with this idea because I spend the majority of my time working on on the Hey, have you met post and have neglected my own account. So she conspired with Ren and with Kitty, Miss Kitty, about uh, presenting an idea to me to make up this series where I would pick out um, some really quality posts as examples for people to go by. And it wasn't necessarily within the the payout period. She goes, "Well, it doesn't matter. You can pick it out for any time. It's just for teaching." Well, I'm going to try to keep it where because people will automatically upvote stuff. So I'm going to try to keep it within the period and pick out um, posts that really stand out that these guys really do good, but they're really low value posts. Like they don't have that much votes or not that many comments or anything like that. So that's our idea. So it's kind of like the idea of all four of us and you two shadows.
I was involved.
Yeah, when you made the comment, yeah, yesterday.
All right. Yes. You do spend a lot of time doing the Hey, have you met? You need to do some of your own stuff. So good to see
Yeah,
this.
okay, good. The other post that I'm going to do is a post. I'm not going to hold this up. I'm going to set it up and I'll explain it then. Okay, thank you.
I shall add you to the list before I forget you. Just like that. Thank you, James. And Jack, you're up.
Very good day, everybody. It's a post by Guilty Parties, which is a follow-on from yesterday's witness chat here in the Ramble, which, if everybody doesn't know, it's on the first Wednesday of every month.
Nope.
Well, pretty much.
It's been running on the second Wednesday of every month.
Second Wednesday. Oh, I was close. All right, I missed it by a week. Don't kill them. Jeez. Anyway, it's on a Wednesday in every month.
There we go.
And the topic of discussion was, one of the topics of discussion yesterday was about the changes that occurred in HF21, one of them being the free downvote, and so on and so on, which have eventually, and the curvature and so on, which has dramatically affected the ability of bid bots being able to be used, not so much because of privacy, but because of the fact that we now have bid bots being used, and when they're being utilized by people out there who wish to pay to promote or pay to possibly get a potential earning, they're massively being downvoted to the point where they're only not profitable, but actually very, very 100%, almost 100% loss for the people who have invested their hard-earned money into it, or their steam into it. Just cut a long story short. So guilty parties tried to do the right thing and put out a post about this, as one of the things mentioned yesterday was that we need to adapt to the new situation and so on and so on. And to be honest, this is one of the first times I've actually felt comfortable even commenting on a post like this, because I know that Guilty's a fair bloke. He's not the type of guy that will go out and push his opinion as being fact. He actually is genuinely fair when it comes to this. So I really do suggest that if you vote for guilty parties as a witness. Oh, did I just say that? Sorry, I mean go to the post, have a look at what he wrote, and express your opinions on there. And he won't bite. He's not one of those. He wants people to openly discuss things so that the truth comes out, and that it doesn't always depend upon a few individuals making all the decisions for us, but that the feedback does come up there and get out there, that people understand who are making the decisions, that is the top 20 our governors, that they actually hear and see things from the not so prominent and not so loud Steamians out there. So yeah, that's about it. And by the way, did I mention everyone should vote for guilty parties? Did I just say that? No. I mean, vote for guilty parties. Jeez. Damn, this political correctness just doesn't work for me.
Stacey D's not sure where you stand. So yeah,
I'm very objective and non-biased when it comes to things like that.
the topic of downvotes did come up yesterday. They called me. Dan was in the show and we had him come on air. And I also had What's Up come on air because What's Up has kind of literally been on both sides of the story in that she not only has been a proponent of downvoting, but she's getting pretty heavily downvoted herself at the moment because Hagen and Bernie are both going after her. So it was interesting to add those perspectives. So I did announce yesterday that the next witness chat was going to be on the 13th of November. And I got kind of reminded last night that is lost audio. Do I not have sound?
No, you do.
Okay. I got reminded last night that the 13th actually is like a day or so after Steamfest ends. People will be traveling, so I'm actually going to move it to the 20th. Give people a chance to get home because I would imagine that'll be some of the witnesses will be traveling as well. All right. Thank you, Jack. Good to see you, Ohio. Come often. Visit us often, I mean. And Bluefin, you're up.
I know he was here earlier, but I am a big fan of his photography, and this is a post by Axeman. He did an earlier version of this that was in color, but I love the black and white treatment that he did on this. It's just a really, really well done image, and just truly enjoy it. And of course, any chance I can to support some of his work. He's just a really talented photographer. So give a little love to this post.
Black and white can really be dramatic, can't it?
It can. It can.
Yeah, killer eyes. I don't know if mean. I think you could take a lot of things from that.
I think she's serious.
Yeah.
I think she looks determined.
Yeah.
That's when you threw a fish into the dishwasher
to poach it.
Or it's when your husband cleans up coffee with a white towel.
Ooh.
Yes. I did that yesterday.
Ginny, Blue, and James, you're obviously all present, and you've all won SBI.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
That's why I asked if Zippy was here.
Ah. It took me a while to pick up on the fact that it had drawn. I like some of the changes that Discord has made, but one of the things that I don't like is the light gray background that they're using. When how when there's activity in a channel that it changes from, standard text to bold, it's hard to see the bold against it. So it takes me a while to realize that something's happened in channel.
Huh. No, I didn't notice that.
It could be just the way it's on me. Who
Do
knows?
you use the night vision, where it's a black background?
No.
It's much, I use the black background, and it's much more obvious when a channel has some activity.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of dark backgrounds, although having loaded the iOS for iPad 13, it automatically goes into a night mode during the night, so that when I open up my apps, they've got dark backgrounds. So I have to admit, I'm getting a little bit more used to them. So I may end up using that. And James, you're up. I see red
Oh,
on gray there now.
I
So
like that, but I wish we could do that with Steve.
just a little hint, folks. James is last on the list, so if you're holding back on a post, now's a good time to drop the emoji.
Okay, so I only want to share that normally I would not share anything of anybody that is a higher rank, but in this case, I want to make an exception because the subject, as soon as it loads, is an announcement of a Steam round. And this was based off of an article that, has somebody done this post already?
Nope.
Okay, this was based off of an entry for a contest from Katrina Ariel, and she had nominated Miss Kitty, our Miss Kitty, for this.
Ah.
And to me, at that I didn't even know about that contest, but the things that she said in her post, which was 8 days old, I really would have liked to have shared that post. But there is nobody, as far as I can see, Steam or on Discord, there is nobody that deserves that more than Miss Kitty does. She is involved in so many different things, it's not even funny. I don't know how she keeps her head on straight. And now she's cleaning her parents' house out, so it's like she's going to be off here probably till off and on till the end of the year. That's why we're losing her a lot for the moment.
One of the things we can do when a post is past payout, if you want to reward her, is find a comment that's not past payout and upvote the comment.
Right. My idea was that I wanted to share it on PYPT, but I try to normally keep that on when I do a post that it's within the payout period, so at least they get. I'm familiar with being able to use a comment to maybe get them to respond, and we can bring it up to date, and they can earn something like shade or whatever on their post, even if it's a beer.
Make it shade.
Yeah, right. That's the whole point. But I wanted to share this because I was so excited for Miss Kitty, and she's got to be like the most humblest person I've ever seen on the face of the earth. She doesn't ask anything from anybody. She doesn't want any recognition, and that's too bad. She shouldn't have conspired to make me write a post.
Yeah, she doesn't blow her own horn as all that much. I know a few people around that tend to be like that.
They had some. They had listed in this particular post here. They had listed a couple of the people that I know that every one of those people deserved, that I knew anyway, deserved, from what I've seen so far, deserved that kind of an award. Even the ones that didn't win.
Would be probably why they were nominated then. So it looks like Mermaid Vampire has won the silver round.
She's one of them. There's 5 winners that
Ah.
there's actually 10 winners that won. She's one of them. Miss Kitty was one. And
Aha.
not only did the author win, or the Steamian win, but the one that nominated him also got a Steam round as well.
So you now need to be careful what you say, James, because Kitty Girl's actually hearing you.
I know. I don't even sweat the small stuff because I know she's around. I can feel it in my.
Very good. Thanks, James.
Thank you.
So, Olasco, Blue is absolutely right. There's always time, because as long as there are posts that are wanting to be presented, this show will run. So, you are up. Hey, Zeke.
Hey.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it not my turn?
It's
This
your
is
turn.
Okay, great. This is a short introduction to past payout posts. So it's interesting that you just had this discussion about how to handle those. The past payout post is extremely important to me. I posted something related to it last week in Pimp Your Post Thursday. And it is about two men that I have met. I have started visiting and a correspondence. Started up a correspondence with two men on death row in Tennessee. And they are amazing people. So I seem to be doing a series on them. And this one that I just put here is just a short description of how our meeting started, with a link to the one that tells you much, much more about why they are so special.
Very good. So you correspond with them, I take it, through snail mail?
Yes, snail mail. It's the first letter I've written in 30 years or more.
So do you write it by hand or do you type it out? Owasco?
I'm sorry, I seem to have lost my visuals. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can
You're
hear
back. I type mine.
Okay.
He writes his. And his handwriting is very ornate, almost like calligraphy. So, you know, he's on death row. He's been there for 25 years. He has time to make art, even in the smallest of things. And it's what's kept him, this is one of the things that has kept him alive, I suppose, but he is loving, joyful, generous, and changing the culture on death row, the two of them. They're getting a lot of recognition outside of the prison for the efforts that they're making both there, and apparently it's spreading out into other prisons in Tennessee. So it's a really amazing story about finding freedom when all of your rights have been taken away.
Interesting. Very neat.
Thank you. I gotta run, guys. This has been great.
Good to see you. We're back.
You know what? I do have a quick question. Is there some way to find the posts that have just been presented?
Yes.
Today?
Go up to the channel that says post links at forum. And I have a post open at the forum right now that is being built as we go through this program. And at the end of it, when I hit save, all the links will be there.
Okay, great. Thank you. That really helps a lot because a whole bunch of them show up in the other channel.
You can visit there anytime during the week and go and visit the posts and leave comment.
Okay, that's great information. Thank you, guys. I got to run. This has been great.
So we're back again this evening at 7 p.m.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Good to know.
All right. Take care. And Zeke, you're up.
No more lurking for me?
No more lurking for you.
I was kind of silent, but I hate to miss the show. Just doing a little bit of research on digital marketing for law firms for a meeting that I've got coming up in a couple of hours. But I had to poke my nose in and say hi to.
So we had another newbie this morning that does online marketing.
Oh, really? Who's that?
Oh, Hale, also known as Christina.
Well, we'll have to connect and share insights and help each other out.
Yeah, I was actually she's been in the field for about 10 years.
Hey, okay, cool. They're either the best folks or kind of the dinosaurs who just do the stuff the old way and don't, ride the bull that is changing algorithms and all the latest technology that's just revolutionizing everything. So you need to see which one.
You'll have to suss that out and let us know.
Okay. Anyway, for this post, I dropped another thoughtful daily post in there from a picture and an experience that I had that you and I had talked about a little bit. Helping open up a church in the area, not being an overly formally religious fellow. It was a neat experience to just launch a different type of business and help in the technology side of things. But I went to the opening, the grand opening, and it was a formal service, and it was neat to see the parishioners, I guess you'd call them, the congregation. Yep. What have you. They're celebrating not just their faith, but the opening of a new business and a neat facility. So I snapped this picture of one of the slides that came up and thought this isn't just good on the spiritual side of things, but it's kind of neat to know that your life is a series of victories and defeats, and if you win too much, you end up kind of getting off center, and if you lose too much, you kind of start to think that you can't win. But you focus on having your great triumphs and successes. When you do, to say, okay, wait a second, I'm about to be smacked with a real challenge. It kind of keeps your head on straight, and you don't get blindsided by these things just because your ego gets too big and you think you can't lose.
So were you able to get direct answers to the questions that we were talking about?
Not really. It's been on my mind. I messaged to set up a meeting. I try not to exchange too much information before the meeting because I want somebody to actually invest their time in a conversation before I provide any real value in that respect. But he said he's launching his stuff. He's cleaning up some other stuff, and he wants to meet towards the end of the week. So the Thai thing definitely is good to know, and I'll let you know how it goes.
It'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So once again, we're not at the bottom of the list. Anj is added to the list. Life is subjective. Some people believe is a balance of victories and defeats. I believe life is a big pile of poo-poo. Oh, are you having a good day, Blind Spot? Anj, you're up.
Okay, so this one is I'm sharing my country. In Africa, like there is no company that make like their own smartphones, like where like they actually make everything. So like on Monday, Tuesday, I guess, yeah. On Tuesday, the very first company in Africa launched in Rwanda, and they're trying to make them cheap. Like right now, one is like 130 and another 190, and then you can pay in installments over the course of 2 years if you want. Also, yeah, even you guys that are international can actually also order in one and you can get it for 7 days in 7 days.
So this is somebody is actually making smartphones. You're in Rwanda?
Yeah.
Ah.
Maybe The next time I get a smartphone, but that's gonna be like, I don't know, 1 year, 2 years. I'm gonna test it out. Like, I don't have money to just go and test it out for review, but it's exciting.
Yeah, it would be. Frank has asked, are they made in China or are they made in Africa? It says they don't just assemble the parts, they actually produce all phone components themselves at their factory. So is the company locally owned or is it internationally owned, Anj?
It's internationally owned, but like many Africans, like, yeah, they were like, because actually, like, in the recent years, there's actually talk about like releasing the borders, because in Africa, like doing business like outside your countries, like it's like a hassle. So like now, basically, the African Union and like most businessmen are going in those ventures, like, and they try to make it collective. But
There's
like,
this,
I'm also sorry.
these days, a lot of factories are internationally owned. The important thing is it's providing local jobs.
Yeah, 90% is Rwandese. Actually, like I think like I know like they're also like probably Asians and Indians, probably Chinese, but yeah.
Probably. Local jobs always help. Keeps the economy moving. All right. Does anybody else have anything they
Yep.
would like to present? And all's quiet. Nobody's got any posts they want to share? Frank, have you shared a post today?
No, I came in totally late.
Pardon?
Push to talk. I came in very late. I just joined like, I don't know, 15 minutes ago or something.
I know. I saw you come in.
I don't have a post ready to share actually. I should look something up maybe.
Yes, Z came in late too. You were not the only one that was late. So it looks as though we've got a wrap for this round. And I don't know if anybody noticed the announcement post I put out today, but this is the 2-year anniversary for Pimp Your Post Thursday. Thank you, Frank. And Richard's even later.
I just got my 2-year anniversary badge from who does the badges?
Steam at board?
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's sort of a bittersweet one because I have another account I first started with, and it aggravates the daylights out of me that I screwed up my accounts early on, my keys. So it's not really my 2-year anniversary on Steemit, but it is for Bluefin Studios.
So are you going to do a 2-year anniversary post?
I don't know.
See when the mood strikes you, eh?
Yeah, well, first I have to get my fix my badges all because I update them about every 3 months because they don't update dynamically.
I've been finding that, you know, the little number code we put in, the date?
Yes.
If you go in and change that periodically, it'll just update everything.
Oh, like today's date?
Yeah.
Ah. But I do have to add that new badge.
It may pick it up automatically. Give it a try.
No, I have to.
Oh,
because it's completely new. It's not a.
You're right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, you're right. That is. Yeah, it's a much different looking badge each year. And So, James has got a post that he'd like to share, and go for it, James. And what have you got there?
Okay. Yeah, my computer's being a little bit slow. This is off of the last Hey, have you met post? Um, and I'm only bringing it in for just kind of a reminder for everyone out there in Steam world about losing your keys and stuff like that. This guy is making a second comeback, and I get these now and then of people that lose their keys. This guy was involved heavily with curating before. I looked at his old account because he gave the name. And it's very fascinating to me that people don't understand that they don't copy their keys, they don't print them out and store them somewhere. They just lose whatever they have built up in their accounts, and you can't touch them. Once you lose your password, your history. So anyway, this guy here was doing a lot of curating and stuff, and he had some pretty good posts. So I figured, okay, since you we're not even at 10 o'clock yet, so I thought I'd share that one. This guy could use a little bit of exposure. He's got a nice group going on there in the Philippines.
Good stuff. The Philippine contingent has really come along well. When a lot of them first arrived, there was a lot of plagiarism went on. It seems to be very little of that coming out of there now.
We have, we were discussing it, and I had just made the comment to you that Oeo, I had just got through talking with her. There's an incident of a young lady right now that's going through an issue with steam cleaners on plagiarism because she doesn't understand that when you take your camera and you take a picture of a photo that is on a menu or on a banner somewhere, that is not your own creative work. And so you can't claim to be the author. And you compare the pictures, and it was proven, and you compare them, and they're identical. I mean, down to every little shadow, everything on the plate. It was a picture off of a menu. So I thought that would be worth noting also. I may do a post on that. I don't know. People need to understand you can't take photos of stuff and claim ownership when they're already a published photo.
Well, I don't know. The person must have been quite the photographer, because if I try to take a picture of a photo, I can't get it exact. So it sounds to me like the person actually used the photo.
Well, she had it on her app, her iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There are people that can do amazing things with these little phones. I could never do that either. I'm like you. I couldn't get it identical. So therefore, steam cleaners looked at it and they go, and they even tried to explain it to her. Look, this is why, and it went on for 2 posts, and she didn't comprehend that you can't take an identical size resolution, the picture, everything was totally freaking identical. You couldn't deny it. So
Yeah.
that's when you lose. You got no appeal. All you can do is do a 180 and try and make everything on the level like you should be doing.
See, I guess the other obvious question is, if you're not stealing the picture, why are you taking the picture? Are you just taking a picture of the fact that, you've got this menu, in which case you take a picture of the table with the menu included? Why would you take just the picture? That doesn't make sense.
When I did a little bit of, I mean, my curiosity was really prodded on this one, and when I did a little bit of research, apparently she was working with her boss and her employer, and they did a picture, and she tried to tell them that, hey, look, this is my employer's hand, but it didn't have nothing to do with the picture that she used. And apparently, according to Steam Cleaner, she'd done this before. It's unreal what they don't comprehend. This is wrong. You can't do this.
Well, there's none so dumb as those who want to be.
Exactly. We know right from wrong, but
When they've done it
I'm
before,
gonna,
there's not much excuse.
but I'm gonna make a statement that it apparently because of the fact that you had mentioned the Philippines, that yes, for some reason we've had a couple people already that have a little bit harder of a time comprehending what is being explained to them, and they often misunderstand what we're explaining, and they don't comprehend what we're saying.
It could be, and it also could be they don't want to comprehend.
That is possible. That if they're being lazy, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that gets sorted out, but I do think it's improved in that quarter. Either that or I'm just not looking in that quarter these days.
Yeah, denial.
All right. Thank you, James. And Frank, you're up.
Great. Congratulations for the 2 years again. Awesome. This is a great show. I always enjoyed to be here.
Well, it's a mutual thing because if you people weren't here, it wouldn't exist.
Well, that's true. So, and you lovely people, I've introduced Huckleberry on the show before. And I've actually turned myself into a daily spammer with the help of ActiveFit. So we can discuss ActiveFit if you want to. But I'm sharing this post actually for some new pictures about of cute little Huckleberry eating a cucumber slice and sitting in my hand and eating a pine nut.
And how old is Huckleberry now?
Well, I estimate he must have been about 10 days when we found him. So he'll be 2 months now.
So I take it that Huckleberry has become a pet?
Absolutely, yeah. And he has luxury accommodation and everything, yeah. He has his own private conservatory.
How to turn misfortune into fortune.
Yeah, I think he's doing quite well. He's getting a little bit chubby, actually.
Well, I'm sure that he gets so poorly fed by you.
Yeah, it's just no fun having him.
I have a couple of friends here that might want to play with him, though. He might not survive it very well, though.
Well, I was having the discussion. I can't even remember if it would be possible to actually get like a baby kitten and have it grow up with the mouse, and if that would turn out in a relationship of a cat that's not going to hurt the mouse.
Well, I've seen pictures where birds and cats are friends, so I suppose young enough.
Exactly. Then again, I guess like a small little mouse, and they're like really quick when they get excited and stuff. I mean, the cat is just gonna like in the corner of the eye, it's just gonna see something and start to play. I guess that's bound to happen.
Yeah. For the most part, I know when Fanya went after a mouse, it wasn't about hunting. It was about playing. It was a toy.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it would be it'd be a little fraught. Thank you, Frank.
My pleasure.
And Pri, you're up.
Hey Shadow, thanks for hosting the show.
Thanks for
Can you
being
hear
here.
me?
I can hear you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a little bit sick today. That's why I'm sound like low. So if you don't hear me, just please let me know. So this is my post about my STEAM achievement. A few days back I already reached 70 reputation, and I was thinking that why I am on STEAM still now, plus what I have achieved here. And I have written my experience plus the most biggest achievement here is making videos and editing them. That's the big part of my life now, and I never thought that I can make videos, I can talk in front of camera or anything like that, because I was really a camera shy girl, and now I am making videos, so it's kind of achievement for me. Also, I never thought that I can write a post, because I'm not very much like descriptive type of girl, but now I am doing that. So really, after coming here, there is like a few years back, like 2 years back or 1 year back, what I was, and now I am a biggest change. So I have talked about it in my post.
It's interesting the number of people that have found themselves doing things they never expected.
Yeah, true. And I'm one of the example.
It seems to be a very common thing for people to talk about, that they're creating content in ways that they never would have thought possible for them. Good stuff. So, anybody else got anything? Jack says, and the more we talk here, the more comfortable we get with new things. Yeah, here can be a good place to try stuff out because people tend to be supportive. Which helps. So, I don't see any other posts coming up. You've been listening to Shadow's Pub host, Pimp Your Post Thursday morning edition from the Ramble. Until next time, it's all about community. And yep, bye, Wilma.